Hello, D-Rock here. Welcome to the channel. Today I'm going to do, I'm just going to talk about canyoneering gloves. That's right. I just got a new pair of the Metolius 3/4 climbing glove. This has turned into my glove of choice, not necessarily in wet canyons, but just in general. And I thought I'd make a little video about it, just in case anyone out there is curious about canyoneering gloves, you know, different types and stuff like that. So I know the setting's a little unusual. I haven't done a review, so to speak, inside, but today it's a balmy 115 degrees outside. So nope, I moved everything inside, pulled out this old ratty table. I know the lighting's not so hot, but we're not here to talk about lighting and tables. So I'm just going to show some gloves. I'm going to show some clips of the latest canyoneering trip we went through in Dothraki, kind of showing the use of the glove and some of the pros and cons about it. So here we are. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button. Really helps us out. Let's get into it. Okay, so let's have a look at the gloves. There's a ceiling fan going on above me, so disregard that noise. Apologies. And from right to left, I've got the Petzl Cordex gloves, the Atlas gloves, my old pair of the Metolius 3/4 gloves, and then of course my Neo gloves that I wear and when it's wet. So for the longest time, I preferred these, which are the Petzl Cordex gloves, excuse me. And I've done a video on these, and they're very well made. They offer lots of protection, cover your hand. As you can see, it's fully stitched. You've got reinforcement in the palms. I like these a lot. They're about, last time I bought a pair, they were around $50 a pair. And they did the trick. They did very well on rappelling. The problem was that every time you had to rig up or something, you know, you got to pull the glove off, put it back on. That kind of gets old. I still like them. There's definitely a purpose for them. But I found myself on a whim. I had bought these. These are the Metolius 3/4 climbing gloves. I bought these just because I couldn't get a pair of the Cordex gloves, I believe, if I recall correctly. And I kind of used them a few times. I was like, I don't know about this. And because it's, you know, they say that it's climbing. Is it really good for canyoneering? Actually, yeah, I found them to be extremely functional for canyoneering. So I moved into these because, of course, they're fingerless. So I could, as you can see, so I could do the rigging, tie knots, down climbing, and get my fingertips into things, and they proved to work really well. And speaking of, you know, different gloves as well, there's the Atlas gloves here. You know, there's nothing to these gloves. They cost about $4. I always have an extra pair of these stuffed in my pack just in case, you know, something can happen, you lose a glove or not. These work well in wet canyons, they work well in dry canyons. They work pretty well. One thing, they don't last very long. I mean, they're $4. What do you expect? And if you're doing long rappels, they get a little warm. And then of course I've got the Neo gloves, and once again, these don't last very long as well. A couple of wet canyons, they'll shred very nice. You'll go through a few pairs of these, and I think the Neo gloves, these usually run about $25, $30, I believe. And I've used 5mm Neo gloves. They're too thick. So these are the smaller, thinner. These are 3mm. These work well for me. Of course, my hands freeze anyway. I'm a sucker in cold water, but it gives you a little more mobility. So those are just the 4 types of gloves that I kind of go back and forth through in the canyoneering. And I always kind of land, when I'm dry, that is, out of the water, these Metolius 3/4 gloves. Okay, here's the new pair, Metolius Climb Glove. I wear larges. This is what they look like brand new. And do they fit? They fit me just perfectly. So I'd say they're true to size. You can see they've got a little Velcro strap here. Boom. A little stiff, but that's the cowhide. And yeah, they fit good. they'll wear in a little bit, but as you can see how much of my fingers are exposed there. And then you can see the glove is all cowhide. The palms are triple stitched, reinforced. The fingers are double stitched, and then I should show you the Velcro. It's also got holes here, so you can put a beaner through and hook it to your harness. And there you have it. So how old were my other pair? If you can, let me put the actual right gloves there. That's the right hand glove, and then that's the left hand glove. They're a couple years old, actually, about 2 years old. Like I said, I wasn't using them predominantly in the beginning, and then I kind of moved into using them and preferred them, so they kind of became the glove of choice. So if you look at the wear, yeah, they're pretty gnarly, man. They look like a mummy, actually. And you can see, due to down climbing, you can see how it shreds on the palms because you rely so much on your palms, and that's really abrasive from the sandstone, the limestone, whatever you're down climbing in, and that takes the brunt of it. But other than that, the glove, and when I come across water, I won't wear these through water. I'll take them off and stick them in the dry bag and either switch to the Neo glove or the Atlas glove. So I believe if you get these wet, they kind of, I don't know, they could probably stretch out, but they kind of tighten up. In my experience, it may not be for everyone's experience. So I try to keep them dry. So like I said, they have their uses in certain canyons. In a predominantly wet canyon, probably not what you want to use, but you know, on your way there, in and out, whatnot, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, you can see even on the fingers, the older glove, they shred up a little bit. So honestly, they hold up well. And I don't know if I mentioned it because I can't remember, but brand new, these gloves are about $30 to $35. So a little cheaper than the full Petzl Cordex gloves. And I believe Metolius makes a full glove too. So you can see the wear from, of course, you know, the rope sliding through, and it's kind of pulling apart the finger area there, and of course the palms. But ultimately, you know, 30 bucks and these things last 2 years, that's not a bad deal. Of course, you can see the new versus the old here. I apologize for the lighting. It's not so well. I wasn't intending to do anything in here, but you know, here we are. And that's what it looks like. That's the right hand glove. And then of course, there is what the left hand glove looks like after some pretty heavy use over the last couple of years. Not a bad investment, 30 bucks, a decent glove. So the pros for me are the fingerless, being able to rig and use my fingers for climbing. If I have to climb up things or down climbing, such that it becomes, I don't have to constantly pull the gloves off. And of course, the cons are the actual same thing, the fingerless, because going on rappels, generally I haven't burnt my fingers. And on this last Dothraki trip, Dothraki Canyon that is, we had stuck our older rope, and I'll give you this is the actually rope from Dothraki Canyon. Now the canyoneer came through and collected ropes, brought it out for us. So Charlie, thank you very much. We appreciate it. We got our ropes back, but I still got my knot in it. It's really cool. Big difference when we moved from an older rope, or I moved from an older rope here to the new rope, because we had to use, I had a 200 feet of brand new rope. That was what we had left to descend the canyon with, so that's what we used. Going down the older rope, a little more friction. Newer rope, pretty slippery. So I did burn my fingers on one rappel just because I didn't have the friction set on the rope, on the device, I'm sorry. So there's always the possibility that you can burn your fingers in these, but I've used them plenty of times, 150, 200 foot rappels, larger rappels, no problems at all. Like I said, I didn't have the friction set on the device, and I went down a little too fast. It was only a small rappel, 30 feet or so, but I burned my fingers. But I mean, I didn't break the skin or anything, just enough to. Ooh, wow, that I'll make sure I keep that friction set. But that's really the only con that I found with them. So ultimately, it'll be up to you, of course, to decide what you prefer to use in canyons. But like I said at the beginning, I thought I'd show a few of the gloves I use and their costs, and I'll just review that real quick. The Petzl Cordex's full glove, $50-something. The Metolius 3/4 glove, climbing glove, about $30, $32, $35. The Atlas gloves, which I always have a pair just stuffed in the pack, you know, for emergencies, or I'll use them in wet canyons. $4, $4 or $5. And then of course you get your Neo gloves, which are $20, $25, if I believe. I think all those prices are correct for the most part. And there you have it. Yeah, I really enjoy. Pretty stoked to have a new pair. Can't wait to get back in another canyon, give them a whirl. And so now I'll show you a couple clips from the last canyoneering trip with these gloves in use. So the first clip is going to be rappel number 4 in Dothraki Canyon. It's the largest rappel. It's 150 feet, no problems sliding down. I was on double strand with these gloves. So let's have a look. On rope, coming down. Oh yeah, good Lord. That's a lot bigger than I recall. Oh, wow. Oh, shade. So beautiful. Man, it was cooking hot up there. Whoo. Dang, that's a drop. Ooh-wee. Ain't no joking around. Huh?
It's not anal stairs, but it's kind of
Man, right? You're just over that edge and away you go. Oh, okay. Oh, yeah? That's a banger, man. Good Lord. Touchdown. Whew. Yeah, that's one dope rappel. Careful though, it's a rope sticker. Next rappel is going to be a smaller one. I don't remember what number that rappel is, but it was the one where I kind of torched my fingers just because I didn't have the friction set on my device. So let's have a look at that one. On rope. Ow. Man, yeah. Oh. Jesus. Yeah, just burn my fingers. Yep, new ropes are slippery, man. Learn my lesson like that, real quick. Okay, there you have it. Quick little chat about the Metolius 3/4 climbing glove. Works really well for me. Maybe it will for you. I'll tell you what, I'll leave a link in the description there. You can purchase a pair of these off Amazon like I did. 32 bucks, really easy. Click that, you're in. Helps me out, helps you out. You never know. Folks, thank you very much for watching. If you're new to the channel, like I mentioned earlier, please consider subscribing. It really does help us out. Thank you for sticking with us. Thank you to the subscribers. Thank you to the patrons. We appreciate you all. And we will see you next time. Stay safe out there, folks. D-Rock out. Adios.